Many a times, we often read information in the newspaper articles that the valuation of a business is $200 billion or $300 billion. Or many a times we came across the statement that if we invest a specific amount of money in a specific investment instrument for a time period, say 30 to 35 years, at an interest rate of say 10%, then we will get 3 crore or 5 crore rupees. But the question here is that how we determine this value. What is the basic technique which helps you in arriving a value of $200 billion or $300 billion or 2 crore or 5 crore? A very good afternoon to one and all. Myself, Dr. Rishabh Gupta, and in today's session, we will be understanding a technique which is often considered as a basic principle in financial management, that is time value of money. So whenever we talk about money, it is not the amount of money which is important, but it is the timing which is important, which means when you will get that money or when you will pay that money. So life is all about making choices, and so is applicable in the finance as well. In finance also, we make a lot of choices. For example, a choice is to be made that whether to purchase a car by making full cash payment or to purchase a car through a car loan. Similarly, a choice is to be made to create emergency fund by using your saving corpus or to use line of credit at the time of emergency. Similarly, a choice is to be made that whether we should redeem our investment and pay off the personal loan or not. So all these choices depends upon the value of money today and the value of money which you will be receiving after a few years. This is the concept of time value of money. So time value of money means that the money received today is different in its worth than the money received at some specific time in future. Let us take a small illustration to understand this point. If I am giving you two options, option 1 is to receive 10,000 today and option 2 is to receive 10,000 after 1 year. Then which option will you choose? Obviously, the majority of you will go for option 1 because the value of rupees 10,000 which you are receiving today will be different than the value of rupees 10,000 you are receiving after 1 year. So this is known as time value of money. But now the question arises that why an individual prefer this current money over future money. So here are 4 major reasons which are highlighted in this slide, that is risk, preference for present consumption, inflation, and the reinvestment opportunity. Let us understand all these elements one by one with the help of one illustration. So if I am giving you two options, option 1 is to receive 10,000 today and option 2 is to receive 10,500 after 1 year. Then which option will you choose? Now, you may go for option 1 over option 2 depending upon various circumstances or situation. If there is a risk or uncertainty associated with the future cash inflow, then an individual may prefer current money over future money. In this illustration, the 10,000 rupees which I am receiving today is the present cash inflow, and the 10,500 rupees which I am receiving after 1 year is my future cash inflow. If there is a risk or uncertainty associated with rupees 10,500, then I may opt for option 1 over option 2. Though there is a possibility that the party from whom you will receive this 10,500 may become bankrupt or may not be in a position to repay that amount. So in all these circumstances, you will prefer current over future money. The second is preference for present consumption. So an individual often have preference for present consumption over future consumption. However, this preference is arbitrary and may vary from person to person. Now, this preference may be due to the risk of not being in a position to enjoy the future consumption, maybe because of death or illness. or because of the urgency to satisfy the current want. So because of the two major reasons, an individual prefer this current over future money. The third element is inflation. So inflation means the increase in the general price level. So because of inflation, whatever products which you can purchase today, you cannot purchase the same product say after 1 year. In my illustration, if I'm saying the inflation is 6%, which means whatever products which you can purchase in 10,000 rupees, you cannot purchase the same products after 1 year. So for purchasing the same product, you will be requiring for purchasing the same product, you will be requiring 10,600. So if I am opting for option 2, then I will fall short of 100 rupees because for purchasing that product after 1 year, I require 10,600. But after 1 year, what I will get? Only 10,500. So because of this also, an individual may prefer present over future money. The last one is reinvestment opportunity. So an individual may prefer present over future money if the reinvestment opportunities are available to him. So he can reinvest the amount in a specific investment instrument and earn a future return on it. Let us again take the same illustration. If I'm saying an individual is having a reinvestment opportunity to invest this 10,000 rupees in a bank FD, which generates a return of 7%. It means if an individual is opting for option 1, then he can reinvest this 10,000 rupees in a bank FD. So after 1 year, he will be getting 10,700 rupees, which is again much more than the inflation as well. So he will be in a better position. It is advisable to opt for option 1 over option 2 because in option 1, he is getting 10,000. He is reinvesting that 10,000 in a bank FD, generating a return of 7%, which ultimately yields 10,700 rupees. However, in the second scenario, he will be getting only 10,500 after 1 year. So these are the 4 major reasons because of which an individual prefer present over future money. But now the question arises that what is this present money and the future money? So future value is the amount of money which you will receive in the near future. If I am saying that I have 10,000 rupees in my hand and I wish to invest that 10,000 rupees for a time period of say 3 years at an interest rate of 10%. So I have 10,000 rupees at this point of time. The interest rate is 10%. And the time period is 3 years, which means, so if I have invested 10,000 rupees now for a time period of 3 years, then in the first year it will become 11,000. It's simply I have multiplied 10,000 with 1.10. Similarly, then I multiplied 11,000 with 1.10 to arrive a value of 12,100. And same goes for here as well. 12,100 multiplied by 1.10 will give you 13,310. It means if I have invested 10,000 rupees for a time period of 3 years, I will be getting 13,310. We can also rewrite this formula in a simplified way. So it means 10,000 multiplied by 1.10 will give you 11,000. 10,000 multiplied by 1.10 raised to power 2 will give you 12,100 and 10,000 multiplied by 1.10 raised to power 3 will give you 13,310. This 10,000 is my present value. Interest rate is 10%. And if I am taking a time period of n, I will arrive at future value. So this is the basic formula for computing the future value when we have present value or when we have interest rate and the time period. Same goes for the present money as well. Present value is the amount of money which you are receiving today. If I am saying my goal is to receive 13,310 after 3 years, the interest rate is 10% and the time period is 3 years. Now I will be interested to know that how much amount should I invest now so that I will achieve my goal of 13,310. My goal is 13,310 at the end of 3 years. To arrive this 12,100, what I have done, I have divided this 13,310 by 1.10. Similarly, I have divided 12,100 by 1.10 and same goes for here. So in this way, I have divided the values to arrive at the subsequent figures of 12,100, 11,000 and 10,000. Again, rewriting it in a formula. So we can also say 13,300 divided by 1.10 will give you 12,100. 13,310 divided by 1.10 raised to power 2 will give you 11,000. 13,310 divided by 1.10 raised to power 3 will give you 10,000. So putting it into the formula, 13,310 is my future value. 10% is my interest rate, and what I am doing it, I am calculating the present value. So in this way, I have calculated my present value if we have future value in our question, interest rate and time period. Again, going back to the previous slide, this process of computing the future value from the present value is known as compounding. So we can, through the compounding, we can calculate this future value. Similarly, this process of computing my present value from the future value is known as discounting. So that's all for the day. We'll meet you in my next session. Have a nice day.